welcome back to Welcome to the Zoo. It's been a crazy past couple of weeks. We're just starting to climb out of the trenches when it comes to being massively sleep deprived from our newborn. I feel like these past 2 days she started to sleep 5 hours.
Yeah, I
6
think we got
hours
a
at time.
5 hour stretch, maybe 6.
And I'll tell you, it is life-changing. It's crazy the amount of difference it makes when you're not woken up 3 times in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of seeing the light. I mean, there's this book that was recommended to me that is called, it's like 12 Hours of Sleep by 12 Weeks Old. And so I've been reading that book, and supposedly from 6 to 8 weeks, a newborn baby kind of has a regression. So we've been going through that a little bit. And so I think she's almost 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so from 8 to 12 weeks is supposedly like a really good time to sleep train. So anyway, we're going to try and dive into that book and see how sleep training goes. And maybe by the time she's 12 weeks, she'll sleep for 12 hours. That's the manifestation.
Dude, I can't even imagine. Like, literally, I can't even imagine like how amazing that would be.
I know.
I do feel like Noah used to do that, though.
No, he did.
Like, I feel like legit he would get knocked out.
Yeah, because I did breast milk till he was 3 months. And then once we started doing formula, I feel like he was sleeping at 3 months in his crib throughout the night, like fully. But he always took a binky and he was really good with sleep sacks. And so I think we'll get it.
Dude, that's just like, to me, that means so much sleep, so much uninterrupted doom scrolling on Instagram and not having to get up when you're cozy. And
I know.
Which I'm joking about the doom scrolling, kind of.
But not.
It's like, it's been hard, man. It's been hard going from one child to 2. It's not that I underestimated it. I just didn't really think about it. I was just so excited to have another little kid that I didn't really think about the consequences of it.
Consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like, I think that's a lot of parents have this thought like, oh, we're going to have to start over again, right? Because you kind of make it out of, I don't know, especially the sleep deprivation. But now we're in the toddler phase and it's like Noah still has had sleep regressions and we've been struggling super hard with Noah. So it's like a double whammy. And I think that's why it's been so hard, because we've been dealing with Noah and things he's been going through, and transitioning to 2 kids for him has been hard. And then also balancing the newborn.
And you and I both just really struggle with lack of sleep. Like, we just don't
really function very well. And because of that, I feel like we've been really hard on Noah, and it's just been, I don't know, stressful.
And sometimes probably hard on each other.
Yeah.
It's just been hard.
Yeah.
But we see the light at the end of the tunnel, so we're pretty happy about it.
So we have been able to do more date nights, though, because we've had a couple babysitters come, which has been really nice. We've been going to plunge a lot, doing the cold plunge and sauna. And I don't know, I can't really
You're having to rebuild up your tolerance again for the cold water?
Yeah. I feel like I used to be able to do 4 minutes. And lately, I think I capped out at 2 minutes.
I think the most you ever did was 8.
Really? I don't remember that.
I swear you did 8 minutes.
Maybe I blocked it out of my mind. That one time I did 8 minutes. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But I've heard that 3 minutes and on, like, you get the benefits at 3 minutes is supposedly what I've been reading. So I don't think it really matters if you stay in the cold longer.
For the listeners that don't know, do you want to tell them what plunge is?
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, there's a couple different places in Utah that are popping up. It's just a mixture of sauna, cold plunge, and like you can do the bucket shower in between. It's just really relaxing. They have tea.
Dude, we should ask him to sponsor our podcast.
They have drinks.
It's like a legitimate part of how we deal with the stresses of life.
Yep.
Is through, dude, that's how, like, I don't know, are we crazy? Because, like, that's how we deal with the stresses of our life. We go sit in 40-degree water.
Like you said previously, like, there's a lot of bad ways to cope, and that's a really good way to cope, I think, with life.
I think a lot of people that like to be nice, warm, and cozy would say it's a horrible way to cope. Like,
I guess that's true.
In cold water.
Yeah.
People might think it's nuts, but the truth is that the benefits are pretty wildly, like, beneficial.
I think it's just nice to have some quiet time, you know?
Mm-hmm. Even if we have to sit in 40-degree water to get it.
Yeah, but really, yeah, true. Really, in the sauna, though, I feel like I'm able to, like, zone out and kind of meditate, which I really need. So I feel like I don't take a lot of time to just kind of
sit with your thoughts,
be still, you know? So for me, that I think de-stresses me more than anything with my anxiety too. So
Yeah, I can relate to that. Sometimes I'm able to zone out, but other times I'm just working out business
yeah.
issues.
Well, and sometimes like depending on the session you're in, a lot of people like to talk,
Yeah,
and other times people just kind of keep to themselves. So
I do feel like I've always met interesting people
yeah,
there.
it's really kind of fun talking to people actually in the sauna, which sounds weird,
Do
but
you think that they're interesting people because interesting people like that kind of stuff, or is it just they're people and we're just talking to them and everybody's maybe that interesting if you talked to them?
probably a mixture of both. But I do think it takes like a certain person to be down to do, especially cold plunge. I think sauna is a lot easier for people. I think you're way more uncomfortable being cold. At least that's how I feel. But actually, tonight we are doing a little staycation at the Grand America, which I'm super excited about. That's like our first break since having a baby, like overnight. Like, I'm kind of worried a little bit for my mom. Hopefully, the sleep isn't horrible
Dude, she'll
for
handle
her.
it.
But
She's got it.
yeah, she's got it.
She's a soldier.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to dinner at Copper Onion in Salt Lake. I think I've been there before. I don't think you've ever been there,
I don't know
right?
what it is.
Yeah. It's more like American food, I believe, but like nicer.
I'm always down with good food.
It'll be a fun weekend. Lately, we've been watching some shows that we wanted to talk about. So right now, our favorite show is called Traders. I knew I would like it. Like when I saw the preview, I didn't realize they had already had 2 seasons. Like this is the 3rd season.
That's not how he says it though. How does he say it?
You say it.
Traitors.
Yeah, because it's in Scotland, and so the host, isn't it Alan Cummings?
He says his T's pretty good.
Yeah, he has a Scottish accent throughout it. It's the guy, I can never get it out of my mind. It's the guy who played Floop on Spy Kids. It's so funny to me. But I know he's been in other movies, but I just always think of that guy from Spy Kids. Yeah, me and my brother
He's
used to.
definitely a vibe. He's got like a vibe to him.
Yeah, he's got some cool fashion. But anyway, the premise of the show is the host basically picks 3 people. I think it was 3, right? To be a trader. I think he ends up bringing one more person on. So I think it's 4 traders. It kind of reminds me of like Mafia / the game like Werewolf.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah. So I think that's why I like it so much and then everybody else is like townspeople, or in this, they say the faithful.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a bunch of celebrities on this season that like I kind of like.
And people that are like have been on game shows in the past, like Survivor or Big Brother, or like, and we both talked. We've never seen Big Brother, but we've seen Survivor. We haven't ever really gotten into it. But one of my favorite people on the show right now is Boston Rob. He's like, apparently he's a Survivor legend. I've never watched his seasons before and didn't really know much about him other than he was a thing.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, I've been really impressed with his gameplay. It's like that dude. That dude knows how to pull on like the strings, you know?
Yeah. So I think, they call Boston Rob as a trader, and he's actually very interesting because spoiler alert if you don't want to hear this, but he ends up turning on his fellow traders, which was kind of nuts.
And I didn't even see it coming.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's going to turn out good for him, because I think there's a chance that people will realize that he knew that Bob the drag queen was a traitor. And so they're going to believe he's a traitor too, right? Like, do you think he's actually going to last?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay. But yeah, Chriselle is from Selling Sunset, which I like. And then Gabby's from The Bachelorette. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, and then I kind of like Zac Efron's brother, Dylan Efron, because he's the one who...
Do you like him by association, or do you actually like him?
No, I actually like him. I mean, obviously Zac Efron's always a vibe, like High School Musical for life, but I think that he's just interesting, you know? Like, he's never played a game like this. He's not even really a celebrity, and he's doing really good, which I think is kind of cool. There's a bunch of housewives on there too. But yeah, that's been really fun to watch. I'm excited to see who takes it to the end. I'm trying to think of who's my favorite character right now. Oh, I was sad about Wells that he got off so early though from The Bachelor. Oh, that was stupid. He's married to the girl from Modern Family. I forget her name. But I'm trying to think of who else I like. I probably like the Dylan Efron guy the most, and then Boston Rob. And then another show that we came across on Peacock was called Sold on Salt Lake City.
I didn't even know it existed. Did you?
I feel like I've heard about it kind of, and I forgot about it though. But yeah, it's basically like a real estate show similar to Selling Sunset. And there's another show on Netflix called Selling New York, I think. Or Selling the City, I think is what it's called. There's so many now. I used to watch Selling the OC too. They follow that company here in Utah called, I think, isn't it Presidio Management, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. I recognize some people on the show that I've seen just like online and stuff. So it's kind of funny. Of course, they bring the church into it a lot, which is just interesting. But it makes sense, honestly. Like being a real estate agent here in Utah, it's like,
Most of your clients are Mormon.
yeah, most of your clients are Mormon. And if you're not Mormon, I could see how maybe that would affect things, or if you, I don't know, talked
Or
badly.
anti.
So that's interesting because there's a girl on there that like was LDS and then she became a lesbian and isn't anymore. It's just interesting. And then there's a couple families that are still LDS like on the show, but I feel like lots of ex-Mormons too. I don't know. But I do love seeing just like the real estate in Utah. It's just fun. Like we enjoy that, right? Like we love Parade of Homes. Speaking of, we're going to go to Parade of Homes soon in St. George, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
The drama obviously is fun
Do you think
too.
in a
But
different, maybe in a different life or in a different season, you could have ever seen yourself being a real estate agent like those people?
yeah, I mean, I think it sounds really cool to be able to gain that skill. I do think I could be good at it just because I can easily connect with people and I think I'm likable. But the thing about being a real estate agent is just like any business, small business that you're starting, it's like your own business, like you're the business, like your face, your personality, right? And so it's just intimidating kind of to be that type of entrepreneur. It just takes a certain person, you know, you got to have the drive because you have to build your clientele. Like nobody's, you know, it's not going to come to you unless you build it up. Right. So it's just a lot of networking, right? I would assume, and lots of grinding.
I bet you a lot of them use social media.
Yeah. Like they even said one of the girls like is super good at social media and marketing. And I'm sure that she's been able to build like her platform from videos and reels and, you know, her knowledge obviously too. And I don't think it, you know, I would say real estate too has a lot to do with the way you look as well. Like you got to be,
You don't see any ugly cast members? Is that what you're saying?
no, I mean, you got to be hot. Like you got to be dressing up. Like people are trusting you with a ton of money. Right. And
So naturally, you'd be really good at it.
I mean, yeah, I would be good at it, but it's like you have to like,
That's me joking and saying, it's like, that's me saying you're hot.
oh yeah, thanks, Josh. But I'm saying like you gotta play the part, you know? Like your fashion's gotta be on point. You gotta be on point.
Dude, I feel like you would milk that so freaking hard. But like, I need this
I need this blazer, this pantsuit.
so I can go sell luxury homes.
I need this Louis Vuitton bag.
Dude, you would. You would.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what, though? I could actually see that mattering if it was specifically for that.
Yeah, because we've had this discussion a lot about designer bags and like,
Yeah, let's have that discussion.
should we dive into the designer bags?
Of how stupid it is.
So I don't know. I do think like it takes, you know, a certain status or whatever, like looking at it.
That's all it is.
But that's why people get it, right? Because
That's the only reason
Yeah.
why people get it is specifically because of status. Because I'll tell you this, if you had the choice to buy a Louis Vuitton bag and have it, but the condition was you could never show it to somebody, or it would like if somebody saw it, it would magically just look like another bag, even if it was a nice bag. If it didn't have the logo on it that designated it as being something of status,
yeah.
something that I have and you don't, or I've worked hard to get this, which makes me in a different playing field because I spend $9,000 on a stupid bag, people wouldn't do it. People
Yeah.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Like you said, if it was just chilling on your shelf in your closet, what? It wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't be the
rather
same.
on your arm and you're showing it. I do think there are a lot of pretty, beautiful, nice quality, probably designer bags, whatever. But
That cost like maybe $50 to make in Vietnam.
yeah, but it's like I've kind of talked about this with my mom. It's like I like changing my bag so much that it's like I don't know if I would want to spend so much on one
You wouldn't.
where like, you know, like I like this diaper bag and then I like this bag and I want to switch it up.
Let's not
like,
forget your phone cases.
yeah, like switching my phone cases. Like I don't know. I just don't know if I would love a bag enough to like invest in that, but maybe.
Well, just think about like the time, the value of money. $9,000. You could go on a trip around the entire freaking world. Our honeymoon was under $10,000, and it was like 2.5 weeks in Africa. Was one of the most amazing experiences of our life.
Yeah.
All that for something that's main focus and design is to bring crap from point A to point B. Nah, I ain't spending it. Like, I just don't value that
Yeah.
at all.
I guess, like you said, it's what you value, what's worth it to you. But
Especially, sorry, I feel passionate about this. Especially just because I want others to think a certain kind of way about me. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me. I'm not spending $9,000. Pardon my French. I'm not. Just not into it.
yeah. Would you ever support me if I wanted to? He's like, no.
I mean, look. My default answer is no. But
Dude, what if we hit like a huge milestone on the podcast though? And I'm like, hey, if we hit this, then I'm getting a Louis Vuitton.
why? Like, why do you, like, here's the thing. It's not so much that I don't value like investing in us, investing in you, or splurging. I just don't
Yeah,
understand.
like I said, you don't see the value in it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because of what it represents. You know?
Do you not like it being hoity-toity kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so here's a pretty good example, and this is something that I think that people might find interesting. One of the things that people don't like the most about door-to-door guys and sales pros is that right now, specifically, social media is used to portray themselves as something that oftentimes they really aren't.
We just were talking to somebody who was saying that. Like,
Yeah.
on and off camera, a lot of the time people aren't the same.
Like people rent Ferraris or Lamborghinis. They don't own them. Or even if you did, there's salesmen out there that make $300,000 a year, and they're financing a car that they can't
That's
afford.
what I was saying. Like sometimes someone might have this like really, really nice jewelry, Cartier, Louis Vuitton, all these things, but that doesn't mean they're not in credit card debt. Or like you said, they can't like fully afford
The
it.
only reason why it would be acceptable, in my opinion, is specifically for business if it gained you access to other people, because it put you
In a different playing field, right?
in a different playing field.
Yeah.
But even then, I feel super conflicted about it because it's not really real as to who I am. I don't care about that stuff. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that anybody that cares too much about it should really evaluate why or where they gain their sense of confidence.
Like what's the
or
intention?
status.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what is it? What is your, like, why, if you're a certain kind of way, if you want it for the sake of wanting it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if it's to show off to people, if it's to show off to the have-nots, I don't get it. If it's to collaborate, I can understand, but I still feel mixed feelings about it. But if it's just to make it seem like you're in a level or you're different or you're better than somebody else who couldn't afford it, I don't like it. I feel like it's icky. It feels gross to me.
It's everyone's own money though. It's their life. Like whatever you want to spend it on.
I can't tell you how many
Yeah.
times people have told me though that like this is something that I feel conflicted about, because in the door-to-door space I am known, but I underutilize social media massively.
Yeah.
I don't brand myself. Mm-hmm. I don't make my life look like it's something that somebody should aspire after. Mm-hmm. I don't sell the dream. I'm just me. People could argue and argue really well, and they're probably right, that if I had invested in stuff like that is more of status things, I'd probably have more recruits. My business would probably be bigger. And that's actually, unfortunately, the truth. But I feel really resistant to it. I'm not saying that I ever would, but if I ever did, it's not representative of who I really am or what I truly value. The only reason why I would ever do it is because some 20-year-old thinks that it means something. And that'd be a means to me hiring
So maybe
them.
that's why you resist it so much, because you've been around it a lot.
Well, I just feel like it. Like I've been at the top levels of this for a long time, and there's so much fakeness. It's like there's so many sales reps out there that have a really nice BMW or an Audi, and they can't afford it. It's like, you're retarded. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You don't even have a house yet, and you have a car that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It's like
the priorities
don't
and
get
the choices are skewed, right?
I also feel like the other thing that I have a hard time with is that part of being an entrepreneur means being willing to suffer for something for a long period of time and sacrifice. You're basically breaking yourself in pursuit of something. You're pushing yourself so hard in something that you lose yourself to it. And part of that is making less than you've made. like I could have made more money initially selling for other companies, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
But we decided to go a different path, and now it's worth it. It's worth it because we have a net worth of millions of dollars. I mean, is our life radically different yet? It's not. It's not yet, but it will be. But I just don't like shortchanging the process and pretending like I'm something I'm not. It feels weird to me. And it's the funny thing is that I'm saying this, and there's a chance that somebody who's convincing enough could convince me to start doing stuff like that, but it'd be very hard.
Well, there are some things that I think you would invest in someday, like, like you said, a house, a boat, who knows, right? So I think that someone could look at that eventually and be like, oh, well, you have this, you have that, but it's just choices and like priorities and what truly just what you want to spend your money on, And it's not like we want to come from a place of judgment. It's more just like that just doesn't mean a lot to us. But I understand like why somebody they want to celebrate themselves maybe, or like I said, a milestone. Because I've seen like influencers do that. They'll be like, oh, I'm going to go buy this family member a bag or, something I've always wanted to do for my mom or, whatever, because they have the money to do it now. And they want to like treat this person that maybe helped them throughout their life. And that's something that means a lot to their mom is a Louis Vuitton bag, like, or whatever. And so I don't know. I think it could look a lot of different ways. And I like applaud someone for doing that. I think that's cool. Whatever, whatever makes you happy and makes somebody happy, that's fine. But like you said, it might not always be the case for every person. So
I think the nicest thing I've ever done to congratulate myself was when I hit, it was like when I hit 500 accounts the year I was doing the 1,500 accounts.
Yeah.
And I bought myself gator skin boots for like $600. That was like the most I've ever splurged on myself.
You still have those boots?
Yeah, I still wear them. I
think you wore those on our first date.
Yep.
Didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had a couple friends message me and they're like, those boots though. And I was like, yeah, they're a vibe. It just was funny that it stood out to people. I was like, yeah, you spent a good amount
I feel like
you
and your dad would appreciate the gator skin boots.
Yeah. I like fashion. I like boots.
Mm-hmm.
I would personally rather spend money on like shoes or glasses, or I like jewelry, honestly. I like jewelry more than a bag.
You know what though? If I was a billionaire, or had hundreds of millions of dollars, you know what kind of jewelry I'd buy?
What?
Fake.
Fake?
Yeah, I'd buy fake jewelry.
Why?
Because nobody would think it was fake.
They'd be like, oh, you're dripping.
Yeah, they'd be like, you're dripping. Wow. You have a massive, you got your wife a massive diamond ring. I'm like, yeah, I did.
You got to find
Actually, I wouldn't even say anything about it. I'd let people think whatever they wanted to think, but...
You got to find really good quality then, right?
I mean, yeah, some quality cubic zirconia.
Yeah.
But, dude, at that point, here's the thing. People that are really, really, really wealthy, they don't wear their wealth. They don't. You look at billionaires, the way that they dress, they don't dress like that.
Some probably do, but...
I really don't think so. You don't
think Trump dresses nice?
Trump just wears a suit every single day. Like, that's his brand.
Probably nice suits, though.
Okay, think Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Those guys are vanilla. Kanye, even Kanye West.
Kanye West wears crazy stuff. What are you talking about?
Find me a picture of Kanye West where he's dripped out in a lot of jewelry.
I'm sure there are some pictures out there.
Maybe old ones, but not any new ones, I bet. He actually had a saying about this where he was like talking down to millionaires.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, he's like, I don't wear my wealth. I'm a billionaire. Millionaires wear their wealth.
He would say that. It's funny.
I'm not trying to be an ass or be... dude, if you want a Louis Vuitton bag, I'm not talking about you, but if somebody else out there wants a Louis Vuitton bag, get it. I just don't want to spend that money on it.
Dude, one day I'm just going to come home, though, with a designer bag and just see what you say.
You know what? I'll make you a deal. Someday, when the time's right, you can come home with a bag when it wouldn't hurt us, but I'm going to come home with a dog or some other random thing without asking you someday.
That's dog.
That's a totally fair trade. As long as it's under $1,000.
It's not going to be under $1,000.
Yeah, it would.
My bag?
No, I'm talking about the dog.
Oh, no, but dude, a dog is like a hella investment. Like it's going to be 10 years that we're having that dog and I'm going to have to take care of it. So,
Dude, by the time we do something like that, you don't think that we would have like more help?
I mean, I don't know. You want to hire a dog sitter? A dog nanny?
No?
I don't know why you're so obsessed with like wanting to get another big dog. It's like we can barely take care of the dog we have right now.
Because Finn's lonely.
It's time to get a cat next go around. How about a Yorkie and a Bengal cat? Perfect. That sounds so nice.
That's your childhood?
Yeah, that's my childhood. And I mean, we got a Bengal cat when I was older, but yeah, Yorkies for sure. My childhood doggy. So moving on to Gen Z, we got to bring this up because we were thinking about like a long time ago, we had an episode talking about how as millennials, we're not cool anymore because we wear ankle socks and like the 3/4 socks are still in, right? So it just got me thinking if there was any like updated Gen Z things that we could talk about. So I saw a post I was telling you last night. You didn't even know who she was, Alex Earl or whatever. She did.
You just assumed that because I'm a guy, she'd pop up on my For You page or something.
Yeah. I mean, she's hot. So yeah, I figured you'd probably seen her, but
Nope, no idea who she was.
I think she got famous from TikTok. I'm pretty sure. She's just this blonde, cute girl. She did like a campaign for some fashion, whatever. I don't know. But I just saw on my feed that she's wearing skinny jeans in the pictures. And so supposedly skinny jeans are coming back.
Because of her?
I mean, I think just in general, I mean, trends just go in and out, right? But I feel like the era for a long time has been like hella baggy jeans. And you hate those, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I feel like whenever I wear something baggy, which I feel like baggy clothes have just been in for the last little while, like Free People, a lot of their stuff is like really oversized. Like, oversized clothes have been in for a long time. And I don't know if that's just like a guy thing, like just liking things that are more form fitting. Cause
sorry, I like your figure.
yeah, I'm just saying like you can see someone's figure more, right? And I think it's more feminine sometimes too. Like, oversized clothes sometimes look a little bit masculine to me. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
Looks a little bit more androgynous.
like baggy jeans reminds me of like skater vibes sometimes. Like I don't know, just more tomboy kind of sometimes. I don't know.
So skinny jeans are coming back.
I was always a skinny jean person, honestly. So I'm kind of glad. I hope it does come back because I'm ready to rock them. Gotta get back in the gym though, lose some of this postpartum weight, and then just suck it in with the skinny jeans. But
We have some pretty ambitious goals, right?
with fitness,
Yeah.
do we? Let's hear them.
You just told me what your goal was.
Well, to lose 50 pounds?
Yeah, that's a big goal.
Yeah, that is a big goal. I do want to lose 50 pounds though. But yeah, I need to get down to like the nitty gritty of how that's going to happen. But I was surprised that you were saying that you want to possibly run a half marathon this year with me. Are you still thinking about that?
I regret it. I regret saying that.
You
But
regret saying that?
the only person on earth that could make me run that far without stopping would be you.
So, I mean, I think that would be super cool if we ran even just like 5Ks maybe at first together, but eventually like if we ran a race together. Because one of my best friends is doing that right now with her husband, and they're training together, and I think it's really cool like that they have that moment where they can just work out together. And so we'll see how that goes. Are there any Gen Z like slang that you have been learning lately?
The weirdest one is the skibbity thing. It's like I don't get
Skibbity
it.
toilet.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck is that?
So do you know what it means?
No.
Look it up. What does it mean?
It just says that it's based off of Skibbity Toilet. That's what ChatGPT says.
And that's a YouTube video?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what it is. Okay, so the top 10 Gen Z slangs are Riz.
Charisma.
Yep, which is short for charisma. Skibbity, which is originating from the viral Skibbity Toilet series. It's become a catchphrase representing absurd or surreal humor. No cap. Bet, which is similar to saying okay or sure. Bussin', which describes especially good food. Drip refers to style. Sus is short for suspicious.
Boston Rob kept saying that on Traders.
Sus?
He's like, is that person sus? Are they sussing me out? I'm like, I don't know if that works for you, Boston Rob.
Simp denotes someone who is overly attentive or submissive to another person, often in a romantic context. Cap and slaps, like that slaps. So this is excellent or enjoyable. Another one is Delulu. I know you like this one.
That one's been like a thing for a while, I feel like.
Brain rot, glow up, stan. Stan is a combination of a stalker and fan.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you just say like I stand something, like I like it or I love it. I love that.
Another one is ate. Like she ate that performance. Mm-hmm. Mid, let him cook. The ick.
He low key ate or high key.
What
I feel like I hear
door down or boots the
house down. Dude, I hear your salesman say that a lot though, like low key and high key. I feel like I hear your cousin say that a lot, like low key. Yeah, like let's go. My gosh, I love all those. That's hilarious. Well,
does it make you feel young?
Makes me feel young and vibrant. I just have to like up
Feel
my
connected to the younger generation.
Yeah, I gotta up my game all the time. You know,
Forever 21.
something that we were discussing last night too, though, is that whenever we send each other memes, we always like look at the comment section.
It's a life hack.
Why is that, Josh?
People are mean and it's hilarious. people are savage. And like the funniest ones always are usually like float to the top. And so,
because there was this video that my cousin had sent me that a couple, I guess they're both rappers, and so they rapped at their wedding, and
they're not professional rappers. Though. Let's be really clear.
This isn't Eminem, but like,
I don't think it's anybody that has any music. I think that they just have a passion.
Yeah, they just have a passion. They're basically just like rapping back and forth at their wedding, and like the grandma's like in the background, like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and they're white.
And they're white. But I remember somebody said on there, they're like, this has got to be Oregon, because they look kind of like hippie. And then another comment was like, their kids' names are Saffron and Amethyst. But let me just read a couple of the comments because I think they're so funny. It says, my condolences to the people who forgot to mute the video while reading all these comments. Do you ever feel like that? Like you're like, dude, I should have hit mute, but you're like scrolling all the comments and you don't want to like turn off the audio. It says grandma is manifesting her immediate death because she's like in the background. And then I would like to say, as a Caucasian, I don't want to be included in this. Anyways, so we were like just chatting about that, how if you don't do this, you should on memes look at the comment section, because it usually, or reels or whatever, it's usually the best part about it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say.
You did teach me that, so that was a life hack, Josh.
What's been like shocking to you about it? Like, because I feel like it opened up a world for you.
Opened up a world for me.
Dude, like I feel like it's made you like belly laugh a couple of times.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Dude, I crack up sometimes.
Like it pushes you over the edge.
I just like, sometimes I'm like, how do people think of these comments? Like, how do they come up with this crap? It's so funny.
Is it just because it's like so out of pocket?
Yeah. It just like,
or it's so direct?
Yeah, it's so direct. It's so savage. Like, I don't know. It just makes you think. And yeah.
Dude, one of the most common ones is like when people post pictures of their baby and it goes viral.
Do people say that their baby's ugly?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh, that's savage.
People do that all the time.
Dude, that's bad.
Like, I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, or or like, lady, you're the only one that thinks your kid is cute, or...
Dude, and that's why people are probably not wanting to put their kids out there as much.
Oh, that is the reason
to
why.
Protect them from the internet. Because I always see like little hearts, you know, on like people's kids' faces now, and like blurred out, or... Which I get, because we live in like a scary world that who knows.
Dude, you want to know another one where I've seen people get roasted? We should talk about this. What are things where we see people get roasted? I've seen like boomers complaining about relationships that they have with their adult children and explaining like their side, like why they're right and why the younger generation is like ungrateful. And then they just get destroyed by
millennials and
Gen Zs on social media, saying that they're toxic, or it sounds like you're the one that needs to be like self-aware, or
or maybe you should go to therapy.
Yeah,
but
maybe
then
you should go to
but
therapy.
Then it's like boomers are always making fun of millennials and Gen Zs for going to therapy. Like, just deal with your problems, right? Like you don't need to go to therapy. Like,
You know, though,
yeah.
like when I read the comments, though, like the millennials win. Like they win like
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they get the boomers get destroyed.
Something I've noticed too, more than any other generation, I feel like millennials and Gen Zs like put a lot of boundaries like on relatives. And a lot of the time they like cut contact with boomers, which I kind of wonder why that is. Like, why do millennials and Gen Zs like have the balls and the audacity to like cut their family out of their life? Because it's just that toxic.
I think the term generational trauma has really been pushed out there. Like it's talked about a lot.
Narcissists.
And narcissist. Like, is it overused? Probably.
Like therapy talk and just like all these
Probably.
terms. Yeah.
Like I think that some people act like they're psychologists or psychotherapists and they're not. There are a lot of crappy parents out there who are selfish, or they use their children for emotional support in a way that's inappropriate. And I'm not trying to point fingers, because we're parents and it's hard, you know, and a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. But I think that this generation for sure has become a little bit more self-aware of generational trauma, really kind of understanding that if anything about it's ever going to change, we have to look in the mirror and work on ourselves. And that's something that boomers seem like they
don't want
refuse
to turn the
do.
mirror to the.
I think that they're
the
just
hard
afraid
stuff.
to look under the covers. Like they like live in a world of illusion.
Well, another thing that I've heard though is that they like just don't need it. Like they've already worked through it. And
No,
that
they haven't.
That
I'll tell
they're
you, they
that they're
have
just
absolutely.
they're just pushing through it.
If you have a strained relationship with your kids and they say things like, or they don't feel validated from hard experiences from when you were parenting them, you probably need to look in the mirror.
Or just humble yourself a little bit, maybe, or
Like, here's the thing. Are kids perfect? No, neither are parents, and that's okay. Self-awareness is a good thing.
I also just think like no matter what, this is just my opinion, because even like Al Caraway, like there's a lot of people who just don't like, they're not going to go to therapy. They don't think it's really beneficial. They don't need it, whatever. But I also think like, what could it hurt though?
Al Caraway's a millennial, though.
I know that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just saying
she's
there's people out there though that like don't really believe in it. Even millennials is what I'm saying. But my opinion, personal opinion, is that what could it hurt? Like for you, I mean, maybe you really don't feel like you need it. That's fine. I'm just saying I do think like through therapy, even a couple sessions, like somebody could learn something. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think at the end of the day, some people just need to be told that the way that they're viewing something is wrong and that it's not based in reality.
Or it's, I mean, there's other.
Like one of the biggest things is that people need to recognize that at times they have cognitive dissonance, and sometimes their interpretation of the world isn't totally based in logic or reality.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't have very good reasons. Like people will self-delude themselves into thinking certain types of things. I can't use any, I don't have any examples I can use, but anybody that's listening that knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. This is why I'm pro therapy and pro self-examination, because I don't think that there's any, like, what's the purpose of life if I create a cage of illusion around me that's not based in reality? I want my perception of reality to be so closely tied to what reality actually is, that any idea that my perception of reality could be that far off from what reality is scares me. Sorry, I didn't mean to go like super deep there for a second.
You went hella deep, bro.
This episode is going to be a little bit shorter, but we just wanted to thank everybody for listening and supporting the podcast. We're trying to get some really cool people on the podcast, and I think that you guys will like a lot of the guests that we have coming up. But thank you so much for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week.